Hello and welcome everyone. This is Nitesh Mishra from Federation of Indian Export Organizations, popularly known as FIO, India's apex trade promotion organization. And you are listening to the Voice of Exports, India's first exclusive podcast for EXIM community. On this podcast, we bring top performers from the sector who not only inspire but also reinvigorate among you to become one of them.
Welcome once again to Voice of Exports, India's first audio podcast on exports for our member exporters, which is being managed and done by FIO. Today in our program, we have Mr. Hemant Kumar from SBH Group, which is a company formed in 2009, and they are into products like food products, pharmaceuticals, perfumes, and various other products. Mr. Kumar is himself a food technologist and has been exporting since 2018. Welcome, Mr. Kumar, to our program.
Thank you, Mr. Nitesh, for welcoming me on FIO podcast.
Okay, to start with, can you please tell about your company and the products into which you deal into?
Our company was started in 2009 in Dubai. We are dealing in food ingredients, raw materials that are used for making food products. We also do some kind of FMCG products as on demand, and we are a sourcing company. We source our raw material from across the world, from China, USA. We are exporting from India. We formed a company in India in 2015 so that we can export from India to Middle East and various other countries. We are exporting mainly to Middle East, then Morocco, North Africa, Canada, Vietnam. These are our countries where we are exporting regularly. And our products range is very big, very huge, which includes food ingredients plus bulk chemicals that are required for pharmaceuticals as well as base raw material for perfume industries.
Okay, great. Coming directly to the current global scenario, how do you see the tariff war, India's FTAs and BTAs, and the recent trade and global supply chain disruptions due to ongoing war between US, Israel and Iran, and the Ukraine-Russia war, which was already going on? How do you see these challenges coming in terms for exports?
In the Ukraine-Russia war really affected the supply of sunflower oil and wheat flour to the global world. Because of ban from Government of India for the export of wheat flour, the prices for the goods related to wheat were very high. That is the reason that the availability was also low because of low production in Ukraine and because of ban from India in wheat flour. India is a net importer of sunflower oil. The sunflower oil prices also went up in India because of low supply from Ukraine. Regarding that tariff from USA, although we are not exporting anything to USA, but it affected the other exporters who were relying on US market for their export growth. Because of tariff, the orders were cancelled. The buyers were not able to take the goods delivery at the US port, and the goods were stranded at US port for so many days, resulting in a lot of huge losses to the few exporters from India. And the current US-Iran war is basically started by Israel. It is affecting the oil supply to the other countries, including India. But India is already, as you know, is getting their oil previously from Russia. So there is not much of a problem for supply of oil to India from Russia. But the export to Middle East is getting affected because of the vessels which are being stranded in the Gulf of Hormuz, controlled by Iran. And because of that, the lot of export goods are lying in Indian ports, Mumbai port, and which are expecting some relief so that if war ends early, there will be some relief for the exporter from India.
Talking about the food products, the dairy products, and the pharmaceutical products which you have been exporting to GCC countries, has it impacted you in some way or the other?
The current war, yes, it is impacting every exporter. Even we have some orders lined up, but it's getting delayed because we are not getting the vessels availability. Even the airspace is closed for the Middle East operations, so we are not getting to export goods by air. That is really affecting although we are not a big exporter, but other it is affecting the big exporters in a big way. We are waiting for that airspace to get opened. I think by tomorrow it should be opened, so we will have some liberty to export goods to Middle East countries.
But do you see only the logistical challenges or the transportation challenges in view of the current scenario which is happening?
Not much in terms of product supplies, because we have some orders lined up for products to be exported from Europe, from India, from China. It is only getting delayed because of logistical issues.
No, when you see the product life cycle into which you deal, the product life cycle of these products are very, very less when you talk about food products and dairy products. So, has this war till now impacted the product life cycle in terms of food products and dairy products?
In food products, we have two different kind of categories, where the perishable goods and the normal product which are stored at ambient temperature. Perishable goods which are stored at -18. So if they are stored for a longer time, there is no problem in their quality of the product. So shelf life is okay. Because of the war, the logistical issues, the product supply is getting delayed, because they are not with the factory not able to ship the goods, because we are not getting information from buyers from Middle East.
Okay, when you talk about the current challenge, do you see it closing down or coming down in coming months or days?
I think so, because considering the recent statement by Iranian government that they are ready to talk about the nuclear facility with US, I think the war will end soon. This will give a relief to the many exporters from India.
Okay, sir, the overall challenges which you have faced, in fact, coming back and talking about that, do you take those challenges as opportunities for you in the field of exports, and what would you like to advise to all the new and upcoming budding exporters who would like to export or who are there in your field looking at exporting to other countries?
We started company in 2009, but our export from India started in 2018.
Okay.
So we had a long time of understanding the market, how market is working, how the payment cycles are being done by the various customers in different countries.
Okay.
Our first export to Middle East was in 2018.
Okay.
And since then we have been growing in export from India through our company registered in India. Plus we have third-party exports from China, from Europe to Middle East countries.
Okay.
From India, I can say that we have been growing in export for last 6 to 7 years, and I think for the budding exporter, what is important is that they should comply with the regulatory requirements for food products as per the customs requirement and the quality requirement that are required for the customers in the Middle East or any other country that they wish to export.
Okay. How do you see your product, in fact, pairing it with other countries' products which are in competition to your products in other markets? Because the government has been in recent times talking about diversifying of markets. How do you see your product doing in other markets, good in other markets, besides the markets into which you have been exporting to?
See, India is basically an agriculture-driven economy. We have a lot of natural products which are exported from India, which include like wheat, cereals, pulses, peanuts, then dairy products. These are products are in high demand, where they are not manufactured or grown naturally in countries like Europe or Africa, to some extent in USA and Latin America also.
Okay.
We are also one of the largest suppliers of soybean products to worldwide. So we see a lot of potential for soybean products to China and Europe.
Okay. Coming back to the FTAs, we have signed, almost concluded 9 FTAs in recent times, in the last 2-3 years time. So the major ones like US, UK, Australia, UAE, Oman, or New Zealand. So these FTAs, do you see, will give boost to the overall export sector?
Yes, the FTA definitely help us, the exporters, in getting their product to the country that they want to export, because because of the waiver of custom duties that are levied by the importing countries.
Okay.
With the removal of the duty, the prices of the product will become more competitive. The market will open for Indian exporters to various countries where FTAs are being signed.
Okay.
They are already signed. So current FTOs, say for USA or Australia or UK, we need to understand completely where the product that are related to our industry are taken care of. Otherwise, the FTAs are a very good step that government has taken to boost the export from India, and I am sure with these FTAs, the growth of the export as well as the foreign currency that is coming into the India will increase.
Another question which I would like to ask you: how
Yes.
were you introduced to FIO services, and what made you seek us out in terms of doing exports or doing promotion of Indian products across the globe?
I think we were exporting on our own without any support from any other organization from India. But then, seeking the government is so keen on increasing the export from India, we thought that it will be better for us to get associated with FIO, so that we can avail the benefits the government is offering to exporters from India, and we can increase the export, bring in a lot of foreign currency in India with the support of the government. With the government is definitely taking a lot of steps to help the exporters, like arranging the reverse buyer-seller meet, arranging the various visits to countries
Okay.
with the FIO delegation,
Okay.
and offering some trade discounts and costing discounts on participating in the exhibition in various countries through the FIO organization.
One last question before I would leave you is that what are your key learnings during your journey of exports which you'd like to be given as an advice to all the new budding exporters? Just three. I want three from your side.
So you see, what I will see that in business is run on credibility and honesty. You have to be
Okay.
very honest with what kind of product you are selling.
Yes.
And you have to be compliant with the various rules and regulations of exporting country as well as importing country, and the payment terms you are giving to the buyer, so that the export that you are doing is getting realized and the foreign currency is coming into India.
Thank you very much, Mr. Hemant Kumar, for being so candid and insightful in your approach in answering all our questions. Thank you, and thank you for joining us on Voice of Exports.
Thank you, Nitesh, for giving me the opportunity to explain my views about exports and what kind of business we are doing. Thank you very much.
Voice of Exports podcast by FIO aims to provide important information and views on foreign trade, especially on exports, which will help both Indian exporters and importers. Any statements made by an exporter, importer, or an importing company in this podcast as guests reflect the views and opinions of that individual or the company. This podcast does not constitute an endorsement by the FIO of the individual or the company, his or her or its employer or affiliated entity. The specific information or views provided, resources mentioned, or products or services endorsed or offered by that individual or the company, his or her or its employer or affiliated entity. FIO assumes no responsibility for the accuracy, completeness, or timelines of the information provided by the guest or the company in this podcast, or for the decisions made and reliance on any information provided by the guest or the company in this podcast. We thank you for listening to this episode of Voice of Exports podcast service brought to you by the FIO. For more information on how you can start exporting, please visit our website www.fio.org.